happy and be kind. Don't be jealous on other people. Focus, focus on the important things in life, which are people, being kind to each other, being respectful, and forget about the bad things. They will not they will not make things good. So yeah, be kind to people and to yourself as well.
The best station on the net. This is
Radio Jaribuni.
your community radio station. Local radio by local people. 24/7.
Alarm. I know I'm late, but I'm still coming. Sing along my name, baby. Yeah. True love do exist, and that's what
Okay, one-on-one with our visitors all the way from Switzerland. A very beautiful lady who came here in Kenya, Kauma, in Marere community. Welcome, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Enrico. Yes, my name is Monica. I'm 32 years old and I am from the German-speaking part in Switzerland. I arrived in Kenya a little bit more than 3 weeks ago. I spent the first few days in Nairobi and then came here to Nairobi College.
Welcome to Kenya and then welcome to Africa. Then we say that when you arrived in Kenya, how was the situation? You just landed on Kenya.
Yes, I landed. It was night. It was like around 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And I had a really, African start because I thought that someone would pick me up from the hostel, but unfortunately this person forgot. So we gotta be flexible. So then I took myself a taxi and went to the hostel, but everything went alright. Yes, I had a good start, a funny one, but a good one.
Okay, that is the situation here in Kenya. If you tell someone to come at maybe 8, he will come at 10 there. Yeah, so
That's okay.
okay, one-on-one with you, and you have already told their name, and you can say hi to the listeners here and the viewers on Facebook.
Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in.
Okay, one-on-one with you. What inspired you to leave your job in human resource at the big bank in Switzerland to propose a seasonal job in seeking resort?
Yeah, so basically coming from a commercial background, so I've worked in the commercial field for like 15 years, and for the past 6 years, I worked in international banks. So I learned a lot, but somehow I was just a little bit fed up with the corporate world, where a lot is about competition, everything is a lot money focused. So I just wanted to escape a little bit, and the thought of working in the Swiss mountains in the middle of a ski resort surrounded by the big mountains, by a lot of snow, fresh air, that's just really, the thought was something I liked a lot. Also because I did this together with my cousin, who is very close to me. It was actually her idea, to be precise. So we did this together, and I liked it a lot. So yeah, it was definitely an unforgettable time in my life. Yeah.
Okay, you can just tell the listeners here, how did your background in HR influence you to approach to volunteer in Kenya?
Yes, I think it's less about the background in HR, but more about my general interest in people, in culture, and about traveling. So I had the chance 5 years ago that I already spent 1 month on the African continent. It was 2 weeks in South Africa and 2 weeks in Namibia, and I enjoyed it a lot. It was at that time that I told myself I want to come back to this beautiful continent. I did not know when, I did not know how, but yeah, here I am.
Well, as we know, volunteer has many experience, and many of the listeners, when I posted posters, they told us, how did you come up until you said, let me do this volunteer in Marere College? Yeah.
Yeah, good point. So, because I don't have, although I was already on the African continent, I still did not know and still probably also do not know a lot about the people and the culture. So, I wanted to give myself an easy and safe start. And I thought a volunteering opportunity would be very good for that, so that I have basically a safe home. I don't need to worry where I am on the next day. I get in touch with the people, I learn about the culture, and also at the same time I can give something back. So I'm not only taking, but also giving something back. And I did not know Proganze nor Marere College, but it was a funny coincidence. I was at the wedding from a friend, and so my friend's friend was there too. We were sitting at the same table, and I told her, yeah, I want to go to Kenya soon. I want to travel. And she told me, yeah, there's actually a really nice volunteering place. I was there, some time ago, and then, she got me in touch with Barbara, and this is how I ended up here.
Well, well, how did you, let's say, what kind of volunteer work did you do in Kenya? And what drew you to do a particular project?
Yes, so I think it can be split into things. So one thing was a little bit on the computer work or administrative side. The other side was about painting. So on the administrative side, I helped mainly the secretaries and the people working for the college, like accounting, for example. I help them with the computer, so because they do not have a lot of knowledge about the computer, also about work processes or like organization. So coming from the commercial background, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is what I learned for more than 3 years, working on the computer, how to work effectively, efficiently. So this is one side that I showed them some skills and things. And then the other thing, painting, actually something I had no clue about before. But Frank, who was here as a volunteer before, he already had some experience, and then he showed me what to do. So we painted together one of the guest rooms as well as the kitchen, and it was a lot of fun because you do something and you immediately see the result. So that was really nice. And in general, I like first-time experiences. So that was a good one.
In every human being in this life has a memorable thing or has a memorable plan he did in future. Maybe as you volunteer in this Marere College or Kauma community, what is the memorable thing that you remember?
Definitely several ones. I think mostly it's about the interactions that I have with people, with the staff, but also with people on the street. And I got so many smiles and laughs and also help from people. So that is really nice. And then especially when you get to know people a little bit more, and then when you spend more time, then you also develop this kind of like better relationships, and so that is something that I will really that I will not forget. So those are the things at the moment I think that will stick forever.
So, when we go to the culture adaptation, how did you adapt the culture difference between Caesar and Kenya?
Yes, so I tried and still try to ask as many questions as possible, especially when I had the chance to attend some cultural events with Peter and Barbara. Sometimes I had no clue what is going on, so I just ask questions and try to understand. And in general, I think when it comes to cultural differences, it's just very important to be open and flexible. and kind to people all the time. And remember that I am the Mzungu in a foreign country, so it's me who has to adapt and not the other way around. Cool.
And maybe where the culture practices traditional in Kenya particularly stood up to you?
I think it was mainly about the cultural differences on these events. So there were a lot of, dancing and, about the dresses, about the singing that was so nice for me to observe. But at the same time, I did not know this before because it's very different. So I think, they stood up. But also at these events, I realized how much patience Kenyan people have, waiting for all the speeches to pass by. So that was quite interesting to me.
Well, we go to the personal growth as a human being. Everybody can have these things. Have you experienced in South Asia, in Kenya, influence your personal and professional outlook?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I think it has influenced me in the way how I, look at cultural differences, in the way how I approach people. As I mentioned before, I think it is very important as a foreigner in a foreign country to be flexible and open and kind. And ask questions. I think don't be shy, but always, talking to people with a lot of respect. Because I'm the foreigner, so I'm the one who has to adapt. But it's I think traveling in general it widens your horizon, so it's just really interesting. And also maybe a nice side note here. I think when you learn about other cultures, other differences, you get so many interactions, and although people differ a lot, you get so much nice interactions and help, and it just helps me in believing that although the world is a big one and a lot of bad things happen, at the same time we are living on the same world and we are all human beings, and if we are kind to each other and respect each other, I think we really do have a good world.
Naam, hivyo basi ni Monica, tuko naye ndani ya studio. Endelea kutazama hapa Radio Jaribuni. Nyuma ya kipaza sauti nije Enrico Karisa, hashtag tunasema sema na Enrico. As I post your post or a flyer in my social media handles, I got some interesting questions there, and they say I ask you. Maybe some of them I have asked you, but there is this interesting question. One question, a little bit sticky. People on social media handles, they ask, are you in a relationship?
No, I'm not.
Well, so I think you have heard she's not in a relationship. In a Kenyan language, you are saying that hauko soko. Yeah.
Soko.
Yeah.
Sawa.
So she's not in a relationship. I think she's single, by the way. So those people who are asking me, this is Monica here. We have her in studio. And then when we continue with the question, what skills or insight have you gained from your travel and volunteer work that you didn't have before?
I think it's similar to the question, or like to the answer I gave before about just the horizon that widens, and being really flexible. I think I can tackle issues nowadays better than I used to before, because I feel like I'm more relaxed, and the more you see in the world, the more challenges you get, the better I think you adapt in dealing with those challenges. So, I think that's what I would say.
Ikiwa ni saa 8:20 hapo imekatika, na hivyo basi ikifika mwendo wa saa 9 tutakuwa tuko na maongezi mengine mbadala kabisa hapa ndani ya Radio Jaribuni. Usisahau kipindi ni Groove Hour, na hivyo basi mgeni wetu wa leo amekuja na moto kabisa, amekuja na kujibu swali kwa wingi. Je, uko na swali gani? Tutapia kwenye nambari ya 0102445427. Tutakuwa tunaweza kukuweka hewani alafu uweze kuongea na Monica. There is some challenges in Africa or in human being. Everybody has challenges and reflects in or either his community or his body. What some of the biggest challenges you faced while you volunteer in Kenya, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think the biggest one was in finding out to which level I teach or I show, the secretaries like things about the computer. So I mentioned before there was one part about this, administrative side where I volunteered. I think that was for me the biggest challenge because, coming from the commercial background, I know a lot about computers. And this is just the field, I worked in. Things, the way how business is done in Switzerland compared to Kenya, it differs a lot. Especially also Switzerland is more developed than Kenya. Sounds hard, but I think it's a given fact. However, that does not mean that how things are being done in Switzerland is better than they're being done in Kenya. So for me, it was just a challenge to understand, all right, what should I show them and what literally just does not make sense, So, that was the biggest challenge because situations are different and they need other things that we do. So that was sometimes a little bit tricky, but interesting at the same time. Yeah.
And maybe when we look back all the things that you did, is there anything you would have done different during the volunteer?
I don't think so. Maybe I could have prepared a little bit more in advance, or like if I had the chance. So because I will continue traveling after volunteering, so I came with my backpack where I had to squeeze a lot of things in. So if I would not continue traveling, I probably would have, brought maybe some presents or things like that. I literally did not have the space. So maybe that was one thing, and then just learning a little bit more about Brugante and Maria College in advance. At the same time, though, it was also interesting to just, it was a bigger surprise like this, because I did not know that much in advance.
As you continue volunteering, maybe there is any advice you can give them, the people who you are giving education, like these students of Marere and plus their teachers?
Advice. What should I say? I mean, in terms of
education,
stick to education for sure. I mean, whoever has the chance to go to school, who continue, going to school, maybe even university, if people have the chance to do it, because I think you learn things that might help you for life. I know that some people, would maybe also want to work abroad if it's possible, and I think education is the key to whatever you're striving for. But I know that in Kenya, unfortunately, not everyone has the chance to, so I know this is really sad because I think this is a basic need that everyone should be able, should have the possibility to go to school, and I know that's not, so that is really sad. But for those who can, go, never miss out.
Okay, as you have heard from Monica, she's saying that stick to education. Education is the key to success. Maybe you can tell the listeners right now, or you can tell your partners from Switzerland, the people who want to come in Kenya, especially in Marere, to volunteer. What will you advise them?
Do it. Do it. And be open to whatever you might encounter. Like, enjoy, be open, be flexible, be kind. embrace this journey. Some people might have done similar things, some people not. So maybe for some it would be the first time, and definitely also means leaving your comfort zone, because it's leaving your country, leaving what you know the best, to a country where you don't know anything. But this is what life makes so interesting. And I think you can only, from such experiences, I think you can only gain. There's nothing you can lose. So, yeah, just do it. Believe in yourself. Do it. It's awesome.
As we turn in a future plan, how has your time in Kenya and your travel influenced your future plans or career goals?
I would say it has influenced me in the way that I realized being successful, like for example, like in being a high manager, high ranked manager in a big company, does not make you happy. Although earning a lot of money, but money can't buy you happiness. It can give you some aspects of safety, especially when it comes to basic needs. I understand a lot of people in Kenya, especially in the more rural areas, might struggle with that. But still, yeah, being very successful, it just doesn't. At the end of the day, you're not happy, because I think what really matters is the relationships that you have with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones, and yeah. So because I know in Switzerland, a lot is about career. Like people are really, they want or they feel forced to work a lot, and it definitely helps you to get somewhere. But at the end of the day, you should also not forget how to live. There's a saying, like in Switzerland, like the last pants have no pockets. So memories that you do when you travel, when you have good relationships with your friends, that is what you can keep, what you will not forget. But yeah, money will not get you there. So, but I have to be honest, I also have to tell this to me, like, again and again. But at the end of the day, I think it's true, at least for me. Yeah.
Well, in Swiss Germany, maybe you can look at that camera there and tell them how Kenya it is. Maybe it is good to you or it is bad to you, and you can advise them to the people who will come or who has the idea to come and make a tour in Swiss.
In Swiss Germany.
Yeah.
Okay, also ich jetzt die Sprache wechseln. Ja, was soll ich sagen? Wirklich absolut nichts. Also ich glaube, mit Reisen kann man einfach nie etwas falsch machen. Ich finde, wir sind ein wahnsinnig schönes Land. Die Leute sind wahnsinnig toll und lieb. Und ich finde es einfach immer spannend, wenn man neue Leute kennenlernen, treffen, neue Kulturen kennenlernen. Alle wissen, dass Safaris wunderschön sind in Kenia. Ich habe bis jetzt noch keine gemacht, will aber definitiv noch machen, während ich am Reisen bin. Und auch mit den Leuten. Also ich glaube, das sind wirklich Erfahrungen, die man einfach nie vergisst. Darum, ja, absolut machen. Ich glaube, nicht nur Kenianer können lernen von uns, sondern wir auch wahnsinnig viel von ihnen.
Okay, how did you ensure that your volunteer work was respectful and beneficial to the local community?
I asked in advance, or I checked in with Barbara what I could do. So then she told me, yeah, the computer skills, administrative side might be one thing, and the painting. And so I checked in with her before what would make sense. Then I just adapted, when I wanted to show them something too complicated, then I realized, all right, that does not make sense. So then I just, stopped and then changed to something else. I think for the painting, I hope it lasts, but for sure, it will not last forever. That's totally normal.
Yeah.
But I hope that people still look at the walls and think, okay, it's nice. So yeah, as long as people enjoy it for a certain time, that is fine. And for the computer skills, I hope that it makes their life easier when working, and maybe they even manage to share the skills amongst each other. I think that would be very nice.
As you talk to the listeners, they have listened you at 2 until now. What advice will you give them? Maybe they'll remember Monica. Tell us this and this.
Definitely what I said before, like education is so important. But just in general, like be kind to each other and help each other. We are one big world, and we want to make sure that we stay like that and that we don't fall apart. Sometimes there are bad incidents happening around the world, which are not nice. But I think as long as we like each other, be kind to each other, and be supportive, respectful, I think we are good. Yes, I think the world is a good one. Let's make sure that it stays like that.
There is that person who have maybe influenced by your career and has said, hey, I will take this. What advice will you give him or her?
Career. What shall I say? I think key is to find out what you like to do. Because when you're doing what you like, you are good. Usually, I think this is the way how it works. I think some people, they try to fit themselves into a certain image of whatever. And I think that might even work for a certain aspect for a certain time, but not in the long term. So I think it's about, learning, knowing yourself, and then being honest to yourself what you like to do this, and then I think you should be good. Yeah.
Wow. Hivyo basi tunatamatisha interview ya kwetu hapa na mrembo wetu ambaye anaitwa Monica, na hivyo basi niseme endelea kutufuatilia pale kwenye mitandao yetu ya kijamii na usiende mbali na Radio Jaribuni. Just tune in so that you can listen good music and good advice from us. Maybe your last word, last but not least, to the person who is watching you and to the people who have listened to you, maybe any word that you can give them and the words will assist them in their life.
Big ones. I would say, what shall I say? Be happy and be kind. Don't be jealous on other people. Focus on the important things in life, which are people, being kind to each other, being respectful, and forget about the bad things. They will not make things good. So yeah, be kind to people and to yourself as well.
Wow, that's good. There is someone here who have told me to ask you. I think you have enjoyed your trip in Africa or in Kenya, and it's hope that you'll be back in Kenya again.
I hope so too.
Okay, this is the end of this interview. I was Enrico Carissa, because of Radio Jaribuni, and I say that keep watching, keep tuning in, and the next program, it will be good. Hashtag tunasema sema na Enrico.
The best station on the net. This is
Radio Jaribuni,
your community radio station. Local radio by local people. 24/7.